Okay, let's talk about something that can be, well, pretty scary. Bleeding in early pregnancy. If that's why you're here, just know you're in the right place to get some clear, straightforward answers. We're going to break down exactly what could be going on.
All right, so the first thing, the number one question that probably pops into your head is, wait, can I get my period while I'm pregnant? It's a totally fair question. Let's just get this out of the way right now. In one word, no. It's just not possible. And we'll quickly touch on why so we can move on to what's actually happening.
Okay, so if it's not a period, then what is this bleeding? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. There are a few different reasons, and they range from something totally normal to, something more serious. So, let's officially bust this period in pregnancy myth. It all boils down to hormones, specifically the massive hormonal change that kicks in the second you're pregnant.
Think about what a period actually is, right? It's your body cleaning house, shedding the uterine lining, because, well, no baby is setting up shop. But when you're pregnant, your body gets a totally different message. A flood of pregnancy hormones basically shouts, hold on, we need that lining. It's the home for the growing embryo. So the whole process just stops completely. So whatever you're seeing, it's definitely not a period. All right, let's start with a really common cause. And this one is often a totally normal, expected sign of early pregnancy. We're talking about implantation.
So here's how it works. The fertilized egg makes its journey down to the uterus. And then, to get all cozy and start growing, it has to burrow into the uterine wall. You can literally picture it like a little seed planting itself in rich soil. That little bit of, burrowing can cause some minor disruption, and that's where the light bleeding or spotting comes from.
So what does it feel like? Usually, we're talking super light. Think spotting, not a real flow. And sometimes you might feel a little twinge, maybe a slight cramping or a little pricking feeling. It's all happening as that embryo is making its new home.
Now, even though this implantation spotting is super common and usually nothing to worry about, it's not the only explanation. And this is really important because we have to talk about the more serious possibilities.
Okay, so we need to shift gears and talk about two very serious reasons for bleeding: miscarriage and ectopic pregnancy. And knowing the difference here is, it's absolutely critical for your health.
These are two completely different things. With a miscarriage, the embryo is lost from the uterus, and that process can cause heavy bleeding, often with clots. But in ectopic pregnancy, that's when the embryo implants somewhere it shouldn't, like in the fallopian tube. And that is incredibly dangerous, because the fallopian tube just can't stretch to accommodate a growing embryo. It can actually rupture.
And let's be really clear here. An embryo just can't survive outside the uterus. So an ectopic pregnancy is not viable, and it has to be addressed by a doctor to protect your health and prevent a life-threatening emergency like that tube rupturing.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, how on earth am I supposed to know the difference? With all these possibilities, how can you possibly tell what's going on?
So let's look at this side by side. You see implantation, light spotting, mild pain. Miscarriage, often heavy, with clots, and the pain can be severe. And then ectopic pregnancy, this is a tricky one. It could be spotting or heavy bleeding, but the pain is often very, very severe and sharp. But, and this is the most important part, look at that last column. See what's the same for all of them? The correct action.
And that brings us to the single most crucial point of this whole thing. You should not try to figure this out on your own. The symptoms can be confusing, they can overlap. You just can't be sure sitting at home. It's impossible.
Which leads us to the big takeaway here. The one thing you absolutely must remember from all of this: there is only one right thing to do next.
I want you to hear this quote directly because it says everything perfectly. If you are seeing even a little bleeding, do not sit at home at all. It's not a suggestion, it's a clear, urgent instruction. Don't wait. Don't see what happens.
And here's why. A doctor is the only one who can actually see what's going on. They have the tools, like an ultrasound or blood tests, to figure out the true cause of the bleeding. They can check if the pregnancy is where it's supposed to be and if everything's okay. You just can't get that information anywhere else.
Getting checked out right away is the smartest thing you can do. It's your best line of defense. It means you're giving the doctors a chance to catch something early, and that can be the difference between a manageable issue and a real emergency.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. What's your next step for your health? Because now you know. And taking action isn't just about being safe. It's about giving yourself peace of mind. It's the most powerful thing you can do right now.